What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the APR YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to use IGEMS utilizing ChatGPT in order to create templates for something that you might use all the time under the parametric shapes function within IGEMS. Stay tuned. First, what you're going to do is you're going to go to a link that I have below in the description. This link will bring you to this page here. Once you click that link, you'll notice that it says IGEMS Python parametric parts. That means that it already has all the prompts from IGEMS in order to do it correctly for the IGEMS software. One thing I've always made that I find inconvenient to change every single time, every time I need to do a template, is octagon, hexagon, and round fire pits. Now, they're essentially all the same. You always kind of use the same template, and then you modify it slightly as needed. Well, what this is going to do for me is allow me to not even need to modify it every time. I just click the prompt for my fire pit, and then essentially just select the size of fire pit I need. And ideally, this will actually do all the math for me, so I won't even have to figure out the circumference around my circle in order to figure out the length of material I need. It'll just do it all for me. So let's check that out and see how it works. So I'm just going to type in basically what I want, because it already has all the code to figure out exactly what you're asking it to do. For this prompt, I decided to just do the hexagon, octagon, any of the bent fire pits, just because I don't want it to get confused between the rolled and bent. I figure that'll just be easier. Plus, I can always click whichever one I actually want, so it's not going to actually change the ease of use for myself. Another thing I typically find with ChatGPT is if you can provide a picture of kind of like what you want as an idea of how it's going to be bent, etc. Yeah, it has a better idea of like what you actually are asking for. Kind of like when a customer comes in with a shitty napkin sketch that you don't really know what they're asking for. They just have a really bad drawing and you're trying to figure out what they actually want out of it. A lot of the times it's such a simple thing, but you spend so much time trying to figure out what it is they actually wanted that it becomes not a good use of your time. So now what I'm doing is I'm asking ChatGPT to create the actual Python script file for me. So it had basically something that was asking you to copy and paste it and then put it into a note and then basically save that note as a separate file. Then you can move it to the file, which I'm about to show you. This just kind of skips that step and allows you to create the file right within ChatGPT. Then you can copy and paste it as needed. You're going to download that file. Open the file location. Then what you're going to do, this part is very important. You're going to hold your Windows key and R. That's going to bring up this little run tab. This is what you're searching for. Your program data / IGEMS software. Once you get that, you can then open your IGEMS file, open the latest version of your IGEMS. You're going to go to Python shapes. If it isn't there, you could just probably create that file as long as it's within the IGEMS latest version. I would suggest downloading it to special, and you can see where I already downloaded that Python file. So it's a py file. So now what you could do is open your IGEMS, go to your parametric shapes, and that's where you'll find it is under special because that's where we downloaded it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to check and see what we like about it and what we don't like about it, and then we'll tell ChatGPT what we do like about it and to remove what we don't like. Okay, so I can already see right off the hop there's too much going on here. I don't want these numbers here. I only want the number of sides, but it should also be labeled sides. This just has an N-6. That should just be sides. I don't want bottom and then top lines. I'm not trying to create a cone, which is actually interesting. You could use that for something else. Okay, the moment of truth. Let's see if it's going to work. So this one did not. I have now gotten to version 8 as you can see here. I've had to do a lot of tweaking, but in the process, I have learned what I was doing wrong. So that's the problem with anything new, right? You kind of learn what you're doing wrong, and you got to learn by doing. So that's what I did here. So let's check this out. So still, this is very cluttered. I'm not sure how I can correct that. Maybe I can make my own image and then upload it somehow. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll ask ChatGPT how to do that. But the important thing, let's see what we got going on here. So we'll just keep it. Let's do 15 high. We'll do just a 30-inch fire pit. We'll do 3 sides because technically this is only one side of the fire pit, so it should bolt up. So in order for it to be a hexagon, it needs to be 6 sides, which would be 3 sides per side, if that makes sense. The flange width, 1.5 inches. The hole size will go slightly over, so maybe 2.25, just so those bolts fit nice and easily. And you can kind of use it for leveling the fire pit that way as well, if that makes sense. On uneven ground. The edge relief. I don't know what that is. What would the edge relief be? Oh, I'm assuming maybe from the bottom to the top. Yeah, I think that's what that is. And the actual relief width would be the size of the bend, the relief bend. So let's see what we got. Oh, actually, I did just realize that I think if I go back over here, this should only be 15 because it's only half of the fire pit. Okay, so that looks right. So let's check some measurements here. So this should be, let's do the math. If we did, so if we do 15 times 3.1416 equals 7 plus the bend and the tab. So let's check this first, actually. This will make more sense. So 15.583. That's 15 inch. Make sure these are the same as well. So this needs to be like an invisible line, which should be 1.437. So I wonder, does it go from center of this hole over? No. All right, well, I mean, it's pretty dang close. So a 30-inch diameter would end up being divided by 2, which makes sense because it's 47 plus our, let's see, what was this? Pretty dang close. So that is well within tolerance for the actual diameter. So that's good. So that adds up. So essentially, get rid of all of these. We need to copy this. And this hole here. And we would paste it in the center of this hole. So that all lines up. There's our fire pit. Even that bend line lines up pretty nicely too. That'll be perfect. Okay, so that works. I am pretty happy with that. The only thing I'm not happy with actually is with whatever this is. So let's do A 5-foot diameter fire pit. No, it shows a preview. Look at that. I feel like it wasn't doing that before. So this is the default shape. I wonder if there's a way to make this cleaner so it actually makes sense what you're trying to change. So it automatically adds the bend lines, but for some reason it won't let you do just 2. So this would be an octagon. And it'd be a 36-inch. So once again, we'll do the math. $56.54 plus our whatever it was, 1.625. So it should be somewhere around this number. Perfect. Okay, so the template is working. That is super cool. Now whenever I want to make a fire pit, and then I just do that. It's still not giving me my center lines, though. I find that weird. Not that it takes long, but still annoying. Let's see if we can fix that. I'm not gonna lie here, guys. I kind of went down a little bit of a rabbit hole while trying to correct those couple little things. What ended up coming of it, though, was pretty interesting, and it did end up working in the end. It just took a lot more time than even the whole first part of the video, so I'm just going to fast forward through all the boring parts for you guys. So this is now version 12 of my templates, but I was quite happy with how it all worked out. It all kind of did what I wanted it to do. I don't know what's going on with this default shape thing. It's all over the place. I tried a million times fixing it. It didn't work. But I am happy with how it did the dotted lines for me. It did it all so like they're kind of like construction lines. They're not exactly construction lines. I don't think it's capable of doing that for some reason. But then it put center lines in the center of all of my panels as well. So I'm going to double check all that right now, and we'll do that together. So the first thing I'd like to check is my hole sizes. So my hole size, 0.19, so that is correct. That is what I set it up for. That's the radius, by the way, so it'd be 0.38. So that is correct. That's what I actually set it up for. Now I'm going to check the actual relief bend, so that is correct. Now I'm going to check the actual length of the circumference as a flat pattern. So I'm going to take my 30-inch, multiply it by 3.1416. So it should be 94.248, or within tolerance at least, right? There we go. Well within tolerance now. So now let's check. The height, 14-inch, that's correct. That's what I set it to. So now I want to just check all the centers of all my panels to make sure that those are all correct now. So that I will speed up for you. It's going to be a little bit repetitive. There we go. So both sides are all center, all the way through the whole pit. So that is good. All right, well, there we have it. I am super happy with how that turned out. It's something that'll be convenient for me now, making my fire pit templates. And for you guys, this Python file will be on our website for free downloads so that you guys can actually utilize this if you are using IGEMS on your software. So you can download this free Python file and have these fire pit templates so you can make them the same way I do. You're welcome to modify them any way. You can take the Python file, put it into that ChatGPT link that I showed you guys, and modify it however you want. Maybe you think of a different use case for it as well. So that's there for you guys if you need it. And as I start creating more files, I will keep giving you these free files for whatever you guys want to use them for.
Alright, well that's it for today's video. I hope that it was helpful. I thought it was a super important tool that if you had access to, you'd probably utilize, so making this aware was the whole purpose of today's video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next video.